Happy holidays! I want to let you guys know that my brand Lilith Ascendant has finally come out with the Sagittarius candle, which was specifically designed for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, and Risings. And when you burn it all the way down, there is a special surprise inside. And spoiler alert, it is a crystal, but you have to subscribe to our monthly candle subscription to save 25% and get the special edition crystal. And the offer ends December 2nd, so be sure to check out lilithascendant.com. The link is in the pinned comment and the description. And be sure to check out the candles on our sites because we have all of the different astrological candles. They are natural soy wax, and we also have a bunch of different essential oils made with natural crystals and scents that help you manifest your desires. So be sure to check us out. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you soon. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Stargirl, the Practical Witch, and happy holidays, everybody. So today I'm here with a December 2020 astrology reading where I'm going to use astrology and tarot to tell you what you can expect December 2020 based on sidereal astrology. I do practice sidereal astrology, not tropical astrology. So if it seems like the degrees or placements are 23 degrees behind, that's because they are. So be sure to check out your sidereal rising and moon sign for the most accurate horoscope. And once again, the timestamps are in the description and the pinned comment. Click the timestamp next to your sidereal rising sign and moon sign and listen to both horoscopes for the most accurate horoscope and tarot reading for your December 2020. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Remember, guys, the timestamps are down below in the description and the pinned comment. Okay, so let's start off with Aries. What is it that I see for you December 2020? Well, a lot of you guys, Saturn has been in your 10th house, and this is actually a good placement for Saturn. However, it has put a lot of restrictions on your home life, and it has put a lot of restrictions on just your home and family. So a lot of you could feel very burdened by your home and family, Aries. Some of you could be dealing with a lot of sick people in your family, or maybe there's just a lot of karma going on with your family, your home life, or even the way that you're feeling emotionally about yourself, or maybe you're having issues selling a home, or there's been a lot of problems happening in your home and family, specifically with your mother. Some of you could be having issues with your mother because Saturn is the planet of karma, and whatever house that it aspects with Saturn's aspects, it really restricts and puts a lot of heaviness and duty to it. So a lot of you could feel you have a lot of duty, a lot of responsibilities, a lot of karma, a lot of heaviness happening when it comes to your mother and your home and family life. And Saturn is also aspecting your your 12th house, which is 3 away from your 10th house. So the 12th house is efforts that you put into your career. And because Saturn's been in your 10th house, a lot of you have felt like you've had to work really hard. Maybe it's been really hard for you to stay motivated at work, or maybe in the past when Saturn's been in your 10th, you have felt like there has been some sort of delay in your work because you haven't had the energy, or you've had to work really hard just to put in efforts at work because maybe a lot of you were feeling a little unmotivated or uninspired. The good news is that Mars, your first house ruler, is going to be in your 12th house, and Mars brings courage, it brings drive, it brings energy. So what this tells me is that in December 2020, because Saturn and Mars are making positive aspects, a lot of you are going to have the courage to finally change your career, guys, and this is going to be a successful change. And this could even be a positive change in your public image because Saturn is also aspecting Venus in the 7th house. A lot of you guys have really transformed over the last 2 years, and what's happening for you is some of your beliefs and who you are now is no longer in alignment with the career that you're working. So Mars in the 12th house is going to give you that energy and drive to make positive changes to your status and career here on Earth. A lot of you are going to be very career focused during the holidays, very focused on really succeeding in your professional life, and you're finally going to have the energy with Mars there to get it done, because we also have the 6 of Wands in the world upright, which means that all of the efforts that you put into succeeding in your professional life, such as your school or your career, are going to be blessed and they are going to be positive. Now remember, Saturn Astrology does not necessarily predict per se, but what it does do is it shows us the energy so we can best utilize it in our everyday lives. And for you, Aries, for the sidereal Aries rising and moon out there, you're really going to have that energy to really succeed and put yourself in the world and change your career and a public image in a way that's more in alignment with your beliefs, your morals, and the person you have become. And any efforts with this new energy that you have to put into succeeding in your career or professional life, such as school, is going to be successful. As I can see with the Six of Wands in the world, it is absolutely going to be successful. So whatever work that you're putting into changing your career, maybe you're looking for a job, maybe you're looking to advance at your career, maybe you're looking to expand your career or your school, or you're wondering if school's going to go well, Spirit is showing me that any efforts that you put into that are going to be successful. However, like I said, with the Two of Cups, the Four of Wands, the Two of Cups and the Four of Wands in reverse, and the Five of Pentacles upright, this does show me that your home and family life has been suffering quite a bit. Maybe you guys are taking care of your home and family and you feel like the burden is all on you, or maybe your relationships feel like a burden because Saturn's also aspecting your Venus in the 7th house. So I do see that relationships might be all about selfless service, sacrifice, a lot of responsibility. Maybe some of you are suffering from a little seasonal depression as well. But the positive news is that Jupiter is in the 10th house, and Jupiter's aspect is on your 6th house of selfless service to others. So I want to know, guys, if you are really taking care of your family, or if you're taking care of people around you and you are selflessly helping the underprivileged and the needy, because I see a lot of you might have that inclination, this is going to be blessed karmically for you. So a lot of you might feel the need to help out those who are underprivileged. You guys might feel the need to help out to heal people or become healers, because when Jupiter is in the 10th house aspecting the 6th, it means that a lot of you, it's your karmic duty and your righteous action with Jupiter accessing your 6th house to really be of service to other people, to help the underprivileged, to help the needy. And when you do this is going to bring you a lot of good luck and a lot of good karma. And this is also showing me that any routines or changes or positive changes that you make in your career are going to be blessed for you, because Jupiter is positively aspecting your 6th house. Now, Jupiter is also aspecting your 2nd house. So a lot of you are being granted by Jupiter new ways of making money, or new ways of really expanding your business or career. So a lot of you are getting brilliant new ideas about how you can make more money, how you can really grow your finances and abundance. So that is a positive thing that I see for you guys with Jupiter aspecting your 2nd house with Rahu there. A lot of you are thinking about ways you can make money that aligns with the new person you become, your morals, and you're getting a lot of brilliant ideas about it. Now, I do see that a lot of you guys, this is going to be an amazing time when you are really connecting to your higher self and spirituality, because in December 2020, Sun is going to be in your 8th house, and also Mars is going to be in the 12th house. So this normally stirs a really big interest in the occult, tarot, astrology, conspiracies, or there could just be a huge transformation that you're going through, because Sun's going to be in the 8th house. So a lot of you are really transforming yourselves and your self-esteem. So with your spirit animals for December 2020, you have the crocodile, you have the fish, and you also have the whale. So these are the animals that you are likely going to see December 2020. And these animals are going to be signs that your spirit guides are around, because spirit likes to manifest as 3D signs and symbols in order to get messages across, because most of us cannot perceive the 5D because that's outside of our human sensory capabilities. So look out for the crocodile, fish, and the whale. Now, one thing that's interesting is that these are all aquatic animals and they live deep underwater, so they're very much under the water. This deals with our emotions. This deals with soul searching. So a lot of you are going to be doing a lot of soul searching, getting in touch with psychic abilities, your intuition, and also there's going to be an increased interest in spirituality and your knowledge on spirituality. You guys might have a lot of psychic dreams with Mars in the 12th, or your intuition is going to be very strong about your job or the people around you. Your intuition is going to be heightened during this time, absolutely. And this is going to be a time where you can no longer ignore your intuition about changing your career or your job, because it is going to be so loud for you. So that is what I see for you guys. This is amazing. I hope you guys have a happy holiday, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hey Taurus, welcome to your December 2020 reading. So I'm going to take a look at your astrology chart, and then we're going to go into the tarot and your spirit animals for December 2020. So your spirit animals are actually quite amazing. You have the buffalo, you have the spider, and you also have the cosmic egg. So when looking at this intuitively, before I get into your astrology chart, this really looks to me that some of you could be struggling with some insects in your home, or you guys could see a spider in your home or something like that. Your spirit animal is the spider, so I would look for spiders, in your home. This is a sign from your spirit guides. And the reason why I like to use insects and animals is because spirit likes to communicate to us through 3D apparitions so that we're able to perceive it with our 3D body, because our spirit guides, Taurus, they are 5-dimensional beings, and guess what? We cannot normally perceive those things with our 3D body in this dense world. So essentially, imagine the world that we live in. There is another world inside of this world that we cannot perceive because our 5 senses do not let us perceive outside of the 3D dimension. So it's a really interesting concept. It's almost like, how dogs can only see certain amount of colors. We can only see certain amount of things in our world because our 5 senses do not pick up spirit guides. So instead, our spirit guides will show up as animal symbolism, or when we see insects, this is a sign and a message from your spirit guides. With this spider that you're going to see in December 2020 in your home, for some reason I saw that for you guys, this is going to be a sign that a lot of you are building your future. You are building your destiny right now, and to keep building what it is that you're doing, because right now with this cosmic egg, guys, this reminds me of the North and South node, which is in your 1st and also your 7th house. Now when the North node and the South node are transitioning your 1st and 7th house, this is a karmic node, and this node indicates that a lot of you are building your destiny here on earth, and you have the power to manifest what it is that you desire here on earth. And when we look at your astrology chart, we can also see this because Saturn is in your 9th house, guys. Now Saturn brings restrictions. Saturn also brings delays and karma. So Saturn in the 9th house is kind of difficult because it restricts your faith and your belief. And because it aspects your 3rd house, or because it aspects the 11th house, which is 3 houses away from the 9th house, the 11th house talks about your hopes and wishes and desires, aka your power to manifest what you want here on earth. This means Saturn has been restricting your belief in your dreams and yourself and your ability to manifest what you want to create here on earth, because Saturn makes you feel very practical. So your faith is being tested. But essentially, the karma of your chart right now is the more faith that you have and the more that you build up your spiritual knowledge, the stronger your abilities are going to be to manifest here on earth, because Saturn is strongly aspecting your 11th house of wishes coming true. So the more that you have faith in yourself and your dreams, and the more that you develop your spiritual wisdom and your higher knowledge on spirituality, the stronger your manifestations are going to be. The more faith you have, the more belief in yourself you have, the more success you're going to create here on earth. Now the positive thing is that Mars is in your 11th house aspecting Saturn, which means a lot of you are given the courage and the drive to start believing in yourself. So this is something you're going to see. A lot of you are going to start believing in yourself. You're going to start believing in your dreams and making your dreams a reality, with Mars being in that 11th house and then its ruler being in the 9th house. So you're going to see that your manifestations are finally coming to light December 2020. The things that you have been hoping for and any faith that you have had in yourself and your dreams, you are going to see the manifestation of those things happening for you December 2020, or at the very least, you're going to have an increase of faith. You're going to have an increase of spiritual wisdom that is going to help you manifest your dreams here on earth. And a lot of you are going to receive a lot of popularity in December 2020, guys. And the reason why I know this is because December 2020, look at all of these planets transitioning your 7th house. Your 7th house is 10th from the 10th, which means your public image. So one thing I learned when studying Vedic sidereal astrology for Taurus rising and and moon sidereal charts is that the 7th house is fame because it is the 10th house away from your 10th house of career. You are having all of your planets transitioning your 7th house, which is your public image. So a lot of you, any of your past manifestations that have had to do with love or popularity in your career, with the South Node being there and the Sun, Mercury, and Venus touching it, you are going to see the full results of your manifestations happen. So if you're watching this before December, I highly suggest starting to manifest. You know, if you wanted to manifest a soulmate, if you wanted to manifest a rise in career, these are all things that you can do at this time. And the Sun and Mercury and Venus and the South Node hitting your 7th house is going to bring those things to you. So a lot of your manifestations are going to start showing up in your face, guys. And this has come from a lot of hard work, because I'll tell you something, Saturn makes you work really hard. So a lot of you have had trouble believing in yourself, believing in your talents with Saturn aspecting the 11th. A lot of you, had to really get really practical about making your dreams a reality, and there was a lot of hard work involved. As I can see with the buffalo, this talks about a lot of hard, steady work to make your dreams come true. And with Mars being there, there's finally going to be some sort of manifestation that happens to you that really shows you God is on your side right now, working in your favor. Because guess what, everyone? The 9th house where Jupiter and Saturn is God's faith and God's good grace. The 9th house is the luck that God gives you for your past hard works, your past deeds, your past efforts. So all of that is going to start manifesting for you December 2020. This includes your love life. This includes career status and popularity. Now, what I do want to tell you, though, is that there is a huge emphasis that's going on right now because Saturn is aspecting your ascendant ruler in the 6th house, Venus and Libra. And Saturn's aspects really put a lot of strong placements on that houses, guys. And this means a lot of you are starting to get a lot of practical knowledge about your health. This is a really good time to start taking your health seriously, to start really putting in practical effort at your job or your career. But a lot of you are going to start improving your health because Saturn is really pressuring your Venus in the 6th house. So a lot of you guys are going to feel the need to improve your health, and also there's going to be a lot of pressure to fix your relationships December 2020. Now, Jupiter is also aspecting, Jupiter is in your 9th house as well, and Jupiter is aspecting your 1st house of Taurus. So a lot of you guys are really going to start, getting a lot happier than you were. And also a lot of you are really going to start realizing with Jupiter in the 9th house who you really are and what your true destiny is and how you want to express yourself in the world. And also it's just going to give you more optimism, although that optimism is going to be a slow growth because it is restricted by Saturn. But not only that, guys, if you have kids, Jupiter is aspecting your 5th house of children, so the relationship with your children could really improve during this time. A lot of you too, since Jupiter is aspecting your 5th house, you're going to get divine inspiration about your talents, your hobbies, your dharma here on earth, and you're going to have the energy and drive to go after what you want. And the more that you believe in yourself and stop second guessing yourself, the more that you're going to have success in your chosen career. So another thing that I see for you guys is that, Saturn has been restricting your 11th house of friendships, okay? But with Mars being there, a lot of you could run into a lot of friends who really grow your mind in spirituality, who help expand your mind in spirituality and higher wisdom. So if friendships were restricted before, I want to tell you that this is slowly going to start to change, because with Mars being in your 11th house, a lot of you are going to get a lot of spiritual teachers entering your life, guys. And this is God sending you spiritual teachers. I want you to know that, because you're meant to expand your higher wisdom. So one thing that I see for you guys as well is that December 2020, there's a huge need for you to focus on your health. Absolutely, guys. This is a huge time to focus on your health and really heal yourself. Get enough sleep, okay? Get enough food. And Saturn's really going to be pressuring you to do that. And also what I'm hearing is there might be a pressure for you guys to really be selfless in your relationships and help somebody in your life, or help someone who's troubled in your life. A lot of you might be very into charity during this time. This is also something that's going to be really good for you. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at your tarot. Okay, so your tarot, Taurus, is going to be the Eight of Wands, Jupiter, and the Ace of Swords in reverse. And we also have the Two of Pentacles and the Star. So essentially, guys, this talks about it's time for action. A lot of you have not been listening to your higher calling. You have not been listening to your intuition with the Judgment and the Ace of Swords. A lot of you guys have not been listening to God's direction, and you have been going aimlessly, and you have also, with this Two of Pentacles and the Star, been really underestimating how big you can be and how far you can go. And a lot of you have really just felt stuck because of it, or maybe there's been a lot of stuck or stagnant energy. And this is because you guys were in the past not in alignment with your higher path. And also, this shows me that a lot of you were just not listening to, having faith in yourself. You weren't having faith in your dreams. So you were keeping yourself settling in all areas of your life. In December 2020, a lot of you are going to get renewed passion. Now is not the time for thinking and contemplation. Now is the time for action and faith and belief in chasing your goals and your talents, because Mars in that 11th house is going to help make your dreams come true. But this is going to come from listening to your inner voice, listening to your higher self, and also having faith in your dreams, guys. And the tarot really just seconds that. So that's all I have for you. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you later. Bye. All right, Gemini, welcome to your December 2020 prediction based on tarot and astrology. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at your astrology chart, and then we're going to take a look at your tarot cards to go along with it to see what you can expect December 2020. I had to make sure my mic's still recording because, yeah, my mic always likes to crap out on me in the middle. I don't know why. Oh, gosh, I hope I didn't jinx myself. But anyway, let's look at your chart here. So December 2020, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. I always look at Saturn because Saturn's aspects are the most important, and you are going to feel it the most out of any other planet. And Saturn is in your 8th house, and it's aspecting your 10th house of career. So what this means, guys, is a lot of you, Saturn is really making you put a lot of effort when it comes to your bosses, when it comes to your career. You guys might feel like you're working like a dog, or maybe for those of you who don't have a job, you're finding it really hard to find a job. Saturn is aspecting your 10th house of career, which means growth in your career is slow. The relationship with your bosses might seem a little strained, or you might feel like you have to put in a lot of effort for the little bit of growth in your career if you're a sidereal rising and moon Gemini. And this is because Saturn is teaching you the value of hard work right now. In the past, you had the North Node in the 1st house. Maybe, when Jupiter was still in your 7th, the last few months, you got a little bit of growth in your career, but Saturn is really restricting the growth in your career with Saturn being in the 8th house. And that's because Saturn is teaching you trust, and Saturn is teaching you patience and learning how to implement small changes every day that are going to add up to big changes later on. And this is why you're experiencing a lack of growth in your career, and this is why you're experiencing a lack of growth in expanding your image out in the world. It just feels like there's a lot of work involved. And Saturn in the 8th house is also aspecting your 2nd house, and your 2nd house is about your throat, and it's also about your teeth and the lower half of your face, and also your family. So you might also feel like the happiness in your family is kind of restricted, and your happiness is restricted, and you have to work really, really hard to feel happy. Now, the 2nd house is also Cancer, so this is about loving yourself and self-care. So Saturn has really been pushing you because it's making aspects to your 2nd house to start loving yourself and to start caring for yourself. And Saturn will do this and test you essentially by restricting other people's affection towards you, because Saturn is in the 8th house, which is other people's affection and money. So you might notice that a lot of the people that you're dating, or your husband or spouse or your business partners, there might be a restriction in your shared assets. So for instance, if you're married, you might notice there's a lack of intimacy in your marriage because Saturn's been in the 8th house. Or if you have business partnerships, you might realize like the growth or the money that you make with them, or the money people owe you, is restricted. Or you might also notice with Saturn being in the 8th house that
that, you know, a lot of people are cold towards you. And that's because with Saturn aspecting your second house, it's pressuring you to learn to love yourself and give yourself that love that you want from other people. This is a sucky aspect. I'm a Gemini rising in sidereal, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you, but at the same time, guys, Saturn in your 8th house, it really, with Jupiter now being there, this is really going to help expand a lot of your finances. So if you guys were waiting on a loan, money from the past, or if you guys have business partnerships, you're gonna see an increase in money with Jupiter being in your 8th house and a little bit of a better circumstance when it comes to money, when it comes to a growth in your career, when it comes to, you know, all of the small changes you have been making on yourself. Jupiter in the 8th house is going to show you that you need to keep going on that path because you're doing a good job. So Gemini, if you have been working on your self-love, if you have been doing self-care rituals, if you have been really putting small changes in every day and efforts into your career, Jupiter in the 8th house is really going to give you that motivation to keep going, because Jupiter is a great benefic and it wants to be like, hey, look, I've seen the changes you made. I've seen the hard work you've been putting in. So you know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to bless this 8th house, which means I'm going to make it so that your relationships are a little bit better, or I'm going to make it so that you get the money that you earned, or I'm going to make it so that you're feeling really good about the transformations that you're making, so you're motivated to keep going, because Saturn can be harsh, but Jupiter is the great benefic, so it wants to give you that motivation. Now, your spirit animals are the cobra, the swan, and the owl, and guys, this is all about transformations. Whenever I see the swan, this reminds me of Swan Lake, where the beautiful princess turned into the swan. So essentially, guys, this means a lot of you have really started to transform and you have bloomed into this beautiful expression of your soul. With the owl there, Gemini, this looks like a lot of you have been doing a lot of spiritual and inner work that has, because you're doing so much inner and spiritual work, it is starting to show on your appearance, because really looks and appearance isn't about the standard of beauty. And I say this all the time. It's really about how you feel about yourself on the inside and how you act in this physical world based on the healing you've done on the inside. So because of all of this spiritual knowledge and the healing you have been doing, it's really starting to make you grow into this beautiful swan. And the cobra is also about transformations, right? Because the cobra sheds its skin. Now it's interesting because Jupiter and Saturn is in the 8th house of transformation. So Gemini, you're learning how to slowly transform and evolve through hard work, because for you Geminis, transformation is hard for you, because you have Capricorn in the 8th house with Saturn there. But you know, a lot of you are slowly transforming, and you guys should be very proud of yourself for how far you have come and how much you have transformed. Now, Jupiter is the ruler of your 10th and your 7th house, which is your career and your relationships. And Jupiter being in the 8th house is about unexpected changes. So guys, I do want to tell you, if you are not on the right path in regards to your career, or if you're not in the right relationship for you, Jupiter in the 8th house is really going to reveal to you a lot of truths, and it's going to make you change course. So this could mean, with Jupiter being in your 8th house, a lot of you are going to have some sort of career changes happening or relationship changes happening, and this is for your higher good in December to push you to where you need to be. Now, Saturn in the 8th is aspecting your 10th house of career, where Mars is, and Mars is your energy and drive, and it does really well in Pisces, and it does really well in the 10th house. So a lot of you Gemini are given a lot of courage right now and a lot of energy in December to really get your goals done, because you also have the Sun in the 6th house and you also have Mars in the 10th house. So a lot of you are going to have an increased energy to get things done. And also, if a lot of you have felt extremely dissatisfied with your career life or with the way that you make money, Mars in the 10th house is going to give you that energy to really put yourself to really change your career. It's going to give you that courage and that bravery to really change your relationships, or to let go of relationships, or to let go or change your career when maybe before you were scared of it because you didn't want to let go of security or what it is that you know. So there is going to be a lot of changes happening in your everyday life starting December 2020. Now, Saturn has also, like I said, been aspecting your 2nd house. So this is a time I would really start to take care of your teeth. A lot of you might have become a lot more good about your dental hygiene, or a lot of you have felt called to do that. The more that you take care of your dental hygiene, the better it is going to be. Now, Saturn was also aspecting your 5th house of creativity. So what Saturn is trying to do in the 8th house is it's trying to get you to have fun and explore your creative talents. Now, this might be something that's really challenging for you. Some of you have a lot of fear, like, oh, what's the point of being creative or exploring my creativity or having fun if it's not going to lead to work success, or if it's not going to lead to, getting my goals done. A lot of you have a lot of issues and restrictions with Saturn being there, being creative. But because Mars is in the 10th house, aspecting positively Venus in the 5th, because it's 8 houses away, Mars is going to give you the courage to be creative, to be your authentic self, and to really start letting loose and being more lighthearted instead of being so serious and so focused on your career and on your studies. Mars is giving you that drive and that courage to express yourself authentically and loosely and to have fun in your everyday life. And this is going to be something that's prominent. So a lot of you could also be having a lot of creativity that comes into your life and Saturn is really pushing you guys to really learn your creative talents, because Saturn is about hard work and it's aspecting your 5th house of creativity. So you're being really pressured by Saturn. Get a teacher to explore your creativity, learn your creative interests, practice your creativity. There's a lot of pressure on creativity, and there's a lot of pressure on you learning how to be authentic and have fun in your everyday. And the more that you have fun in your everyday and you figure out how to make your hard work more fun and lighthearted, the more success you're going to have, because there is a slowdown in growth for you, and this is for your greater good. This is the cycle of life, guys, because you are meant to learn routine and making practical steps towards your goals. And this is why there's no, overnight success going on. But the more that you learn to embrace your inner child and have fun during it, the better that it is going to be for you. So you're being really pressured on that creativity. And also the 8th house is about trust. So a lot of you are learning how to open up authentically to other people, which is going to be very good for you. Now, I do see with your tarot cards with the Hanged Man, this all talks about feeling stuck in life, feeling like you're constantly fighting for a goal, but things happen so that you're not advancing, or you feel stuck in life even though you're putting out so much energy, feeling like, your confidence is just getting a little bit blown because of this, but this is for your greater good. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that you need to balance your masculine and feminine energies. You need to learn how to balance. And also for a lot of you with this Queen of Wands, King of Wands, and Justice in reverse, a lot of you could be dealing with a very karmic relationship in your life that you need a little bit of a break from December 2020. I do see that with Venus entering your 6th house, as well as the tarot cards at the end of December. So you guys might be a little distant or have some sort of break from a karmic relationship in your life. And I feel like this is for your own greater good, to be honest with you. Now, I do want to tell you that the Sun, your 3rd house ruler, is going to be in your 6th house of routine, December 2020. This normally indicates that there might be a lot of issues with your children, or with, a lot of you have a fear of giving birth. And a lot of you are having a lot of insomnia. Wow. Okay, so what this means, guys, is a lot of you, with Saturn aspecting your 5th house is about creation. You guys have a fear of creating. There's like a lot of anxiety and a lot of pressure about it. So there's a need for you to heal your divine feminine side. And also there's a need for you to heal your divine feminine side by being more childlike, learning how to be childlike, right? And this is how you're going to get more energy and more creativity, is when you don't take life so seriously, especially with your career. Now, a lot of you are suffering from insomnia because what's happening is the North Node's in your 12th house. The more sleep that you get, guys, the more you are going to have more energy. So sleep for you is very important. Being out in nature is very important because the North Node is in the 12th house for you. Also, learn about ways you can cure your insomnia or cure your sleep schedule, because the more sleep you get, the more creative ideas you're going to get. And when you're out in nature, you are going to get a lot of creative ideas. This is something that I do see for you guys. But a lot of you will be blessed with a lot more energy. But I do see that a lot of you, with the Sun being in the 6th house, this is about health and diseases. So a lot of you could be suffering from some sort of sickness, and this could be because the Scorpio in the 6th house is about, Scorpio represents like the lower half of your body, your kidneys, and the sun's going to be there. A lot of you might be having kidney issues or something like that, but not all of you. Just be sure to go to the doctor if you're experiencing that. And also there might be some issues with your communities, or there might be some travel going on for you. A lot of you might decide to move. I just see with the 3rd ruler being in your 6th, there might be issues with your neighbors or where you're living, so you have to relocate. Just expect the unexpected, guys, because the 8th house is about the unexpected, and Jupiter, Saturn there is going to bring unexpected change, and this is something you cannot avoid because it's a divinely pushed change in your life. So just know that, guys, and just know that with Mars being in your 10th, you're going to have the courage to go through any changes that happen, and you're going to see with Jupiter in the 8th why this was a positive thing for you, and it's going to help you transform. So anything that's holding you back from your transformation and your success in December is going to be removed for you. So that's all I have for you, Gemini. I hope you guys have an amazing month, and I'll see you later. Bye. Merry Christmas, Cancer. Welcome to your December 2020 prediction using tarot and astrology. So first we're going to take a look at your astrology chart, and then we're going to get into the tarot cards and see what your spirit animals are. So let's take a look at this. Okay, guys, so what's going on for you? Well, first of all, I do feel that with Saturn being in your 7th house, for a while, guys, you have been suffering from a lot of depression, or at the very least, a lot of you have felt like you've had to put extra work into your appearance, your body, or a lot of you feel very insecure about the way that you look. Like, am I attractive enough for the people that I'm with? With Saturn in the 7th, it really aspects your 1st house of Cancer. So this is really going to put a lot of heaviness on the way that you feel about yourself, the way that you feel in comparison to your partner, and also the way, like, this could also, because Saturn brings restrictions and it's aspecting your 1st house, you could feel like you're feeling a little depressed or weighed down in your relationship. Saturn in the 7th house aspecting the 1st house does a lot of different things, but just know that there is a relationship between your partner and the way that you feel about yourself, as well as the amount of heaviness you feel emotionally. You know, this could be any sort of feeling, because your 1st house is about feeling. It's about feelings, what you're feeling about yourself and your partnership. So with Saturn being there, there's a lot of heaviness about it. There's a lot of heaviness about your relationships, the way you feel about yourself in comparison, you and your public image. There's a lot of heaviness there. So a lot of you have had to get very disciplined about, maybe some of you have gotten more disciplined about your appearance, or maybe some of you have just become a lot more disciplined in general due to a partner. There's that energy. Now, Saturn is also aspecting your 9th house of spirituality, higher learning, travel, and also it's the 9th house is also about your spiritual teachers and your gurus, right? So when Saturn aspects the 9th house of spirituality, this means, and also learning, a lot of you have been putting in a lot of hard work when it comes to your education, when it comes to your school, and when it comes to learning. And you know, this can even manifest for a lot of you that Saturn aspecting your 9th house has made it so that you feel like your teachers are extra strict on you, or your teachers are extra hard on you. Your spiritual teachers are extra hard, extra strict on you, right? Because Saturn is aspecting your 9th house. So the Cancers watching this, I am so sorry. I don't mean to be harsh. It's just the energies of Saturn. Because listen, guys, I want to tell you a secret, Cancer. If somebody is unfaithful, if someone doesn't give you the energy and love that you want, it has nothing to do with you. The reason why that's happening is because of certain dashas and certain lessons that each individual person has to learn. It has nothing to do with your self-worth. This is something I wish someone told me. When we get upset that a lover is not loving us as much as we want, giving us the attention like maybe they did their ex, it's not about that in their mind. It's not like, oh, you're less than their ex and that's why. It's because literally this world is just a matrix. We run on a karmic circle of lessons, and it just so happens when they were with you, they had to learn a certain lesson. They were in a different dasha period of their life, aspecting a certain area of their karmic birth chart, and this is why that it's happening. It has nothing to do with you and your self-worth. It is just the karmic cycle, okay? Like, that was a beautiful revelation that I was shown when I was learning astrology, that the way people treat you really has nothing to do with you. It's about your karmic cycle and theirs, and they are just reacting to their own karmic struggle and their own karmic cycle, just like you are. Nothing to do with you, okay? So I want you to know that. Now, Jupiter this is what I do want to tell you guys, and I don't sugarcoat my readings because you know, like, I just don't want to. I just want to be real with you guys. Jupiter is debilitated in the 7th house, and Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn. Now, what this does for you guys in the 7th house is, yes, it might increase your positivity. You guys might be feeling, you know, a little bit better coming up in December, but also this really messes with your intuition with partners. So what I would say is avoid jealousy if you do not have proof. You know, I would say, you know, this is a really good time to develop your relationship to God, because if you develop your relationship to God, then God will show you the truth, and you will not have to push for the truth. You will not have to think, okay, who has my back and who doesn't. Develop that relationship. Work hard on developing that relationship with your higher self and higher power with Mars in the 9th, and that higher power will give you the truth about anyone you have in mind. Like, who really has my back? How does this person really feel about me? All of those questions you might have about the people around you, your business partners, and whatever. Because you guys, with Jupiter in the 7th, this really does hurt a little bit your intuition. Because it's like the 7th house is about the scales of balancing. So if you're wondering how someone feels about you, if you're wondering who's right for you, Mars in the 9th wants you to develop a relationship with a higher power. Dive into spirituality, dive into meditation, dive into learning about psychology, dive into learning. And this is really going to help you expand your knowledge on relationships, and you guys won't feel so confused and so lost in relationships, essentially. Because Mars in the 9th house is really giving you that energy to really get a teacher, first of all, and develop your spirituality. And this is for the purpose of helping you understand your relationships and why they are the way they are. Now, one thing I do see is some of you, this is not for all of you, okay? When we look at the tarot aspect of it, some of you with Jupiter, Saturn in the 7th house, you might have to decide between two people. You might have to decide between two business partners. And this is something I'm seeing in your tarot with the King of Pentacles and the King of Cups, and also Jupiter, Saturn being in your 7th house. This is not for everybody. It's just for some of you. Some of you might be very torn between two aspects of your life, one path and another path, or one person or the other person. It doesn't even have to be in love, just in general. A lot of you could be torn between two paths. And, you know, this is going to be a time if you want to know what path you should take, if you want to know what person is right for you. Mars in the 9th is giving you that energy to really dive into higher learning, expanding your wisdom. And because the 9th ruler is in the 7th house, it will grant you slow revelations about the people around you and your relationships, and it will help you with your decision-making skills. This is what I see with your chart very prevalently. Now, when we look at Saturn's aspect as well, Saturn is also aspecting the 4th house. So the relationships in your family life might also feel like your home and your family and your house might feel like there's a lot of duty and responsibilities going on in your home and family. Maybe a lot of you have to take care of a lot of your family relationships. Maybe your family is really impacting your current relationships, right? Because Saturn is aspecting your 4th, and Venus is going to be there. So this is a lot about I would say learning how to receive love as well. Some of you guys, I will tell you this, because Mars is in the 9th house and it's aspecting your 4th house with Venus being there, it's allowing you to face your fears about receiving love as well. Maybe some of you, when you receive love or affection or gifts, you feel uncomfortable, or you feel like, oh, I'm not worthy of this, or something like that. That's what happens normally. Mars in the 9th house wants you to have a better understanding of psychology, a better understanding of human behavior, and a better understanding of why people act the way they do. So if you're in like really tough relationship issues, I would really highly recommend looking up avoidant attachment and why people act the way they do, and that wisdom is going to save you a lot with your mental anguish. Having wisdom, like for instance, guys, I used to be very anxious in relationships, like, why don't they love me? And like a mess, like pretty much Bridget Jones, except not as Renee Zellweger. And, you know, I realized after studying psychology, like, this has nothing to do with me. I just need to do me. And I literally will not be bothered by love anymore. I'm not bothered because I'm like, this is just a karmic cycle. So Spirit is saying, higher learning, higher education with Mars in your 9th is going to reveal so many truths about relationships and love to you coming up. And the more that you expand your wisdom and higher wisdom and dive into spirituality, sorry about that, guys, the more your relationships are going to go smooth, guys. I really sense that for you. And also, I really do sense this is going to be a time that a lot of you, to be honest, are going to be, you're going to be getting really successful. What is it called, in your job. I really sense that because Venus is aspecting your 10th house of career, and it's in the 4th house, and the North Node is amping up your 11th house. So guys, if you were getting, if you were hoping for job success, or you were hoping for, like a better public image, or, a successful job interview or a job, this is going to be a time where that will likely manifest. However, you have to remember that Jupiter-Saturn is conjunction in your 7th house, which means all growth for everybody is going to be slow. So take it one step at a time. Be grateful for the little things and little opportunities that come into your life, guys. And also, this is going to be a really great time for creativity. This is another thing I want to say. The North Node in the 11th house is really amping up your interest in creative writing. It's amping up your interest in photography, and it's amping up your interest in social media, because the North Node is aspecting your 3rd house of communication, social media. It's also amping up your what is it called? It's amping up your creativity, social media, writing. It's amping up wanting to find communities that are creative. These are all things that I see for you. So creative communities, communities of people who are going to help expand your creativity, creative writing. A lot of you are going to be extremely into film, movies, creative writing. And also, this is a really good time to start writing. If you guys wanted to write or start becoming speakers, this is going to be an amazing time for creative writing, with Mercury being in your 5th house. And yeah, with Mercury being in your 5th house, this is an amazing time for creative writing and for journaling, social media, being creative on social media, taking creative pictures. And also, a lot of you have had a lot of fears about traveling, and also you've had fears about putting yourself out there, because the 3rd house is aspected by Saturn. So this is publishing and traveling. So there could have been delays in traveling. There could have been some of you could be going through a divorce, because the 9th house is about law for some of you. And also, this is about having the courage to finally put your publishings out into the world, and not taking it so personal if, not caring so much what people think, and just putting your publishing yourself out into the world. It's giving you that courage to put your creativity out in the world. Now, for your spirit animals, we have the octopus, we have the lizard, and we also have the beaver. And, Spirit likes to manifest as spirit animals, as signs. So you guys might see these animals a lot in December 2020. This is signs from your spirit guides. Now, the beaver is about slow movement, slow progress, and to keep building and doing what you're doing. And even though movement and building is slow, you're building a solid foundation for yourself. And this is also about learning how to control your emotions, because beavers create dams which control the water. So this is about learning how to control your emotions and learning how to be strong emotionally. The lizard is about realizing that it's about kind of like being in an in-between stage, and the octopus is about learning. It's about higher education, because octopuses are really smart. So if there has been a restriction on your school and your studies, and it's felt very hard, Mars in the 9th is going to give you more knowledge, and this knowledge is really going to help you in your everyday life. And the octopus is about, dabbling your hands in a little bit of everything, being really busy, because Cancer, you are trying to juggle a lot. And Venus in the 4th house wants you to start facing your fears about receiving love, and stop trying to push people away, and also learn how to release, because the octopus tends to hold on to things. The more that you energetically release and don't be controlling, the more things are going to flow to you. And this is what you're learning in December 2020. And also, yeah, I think that's all I have for you, but I hope you have a great one. I'll see you later. Bye. Hey, Leo, welcome to your December 2020 astrology prediction. Happy holidays. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at your chart, and then we're going to look at your tarot and your spirit animals. So the sun is in your 4th house, Leo, which means that it's aspecting your 10th house of career with the North Node. So a lot of you feel extremely driven at this time to really succeed in your career. There's a lot of energy to start start putting yourself out in the world, specifically when it comes to social media, or when it comes to communication, or when it comes to connecting with your community, your neighbors. So this is going to be a really big time where a lot of you are feeling extremely motivated in regards to your career. Now, I always look at Saturn when I'm doing astrology, because Saturn is such an important role in predictions, and Saturn's aspect make a very big deal in what you can expect. Saturn has been in your 6th house, which means that there has been a restriction on the 8th house, because Saturn is aspecting the 8th house, which means that a lot of you have been really called to really handle your debt. Maybe some of you were having issues getting loans, or maybe you were having issues getting loans from the bank, because Saturn has been aspecting your 8th house, and this is likely due from your debt. So if you guys have been working on your debt, I really do see an increase in credit score, or being able to receive more money. And also, a lot of you with Saturn in the 6th house, this has been really impacting your intimate life, because Saturn aspects the 3rd away from itself, and it's aspecting your 8th house of intimacy and true emotional intimacy. And I want to tell you guys, a lot of you Leo have been blocked off from true emotional intimacy, because Saturn has been making you work really hard for intimacy with other people. So it might feel like the people that you're dating make you work really hard for intimacy, whether it's physical or emotional intimacy, or you might feel that emotional intimacy is something that's really hard, that you're not really into at this time. There's some of you, I'm even seeing with your tarot cards, with the Devil, the Hierophant, and the Lovers in reverse, some of you could just not be open to relationships at this time, because they take a lot of work, and this is not something that you're really into right now. Because what I see for you guys is that the Ace of Wands is upright, which means a lot of you are really focused on living your life passionately. And for a very long time, Saturn rules your 7th house of relationships. It's in your 6th house, and it's blocking your 8th house. You have felt like your relationships were really stifling your creativity, your passion, and your intimate life. And this is something that for a lot of you guys, if you have Mars in the 8th house, a lot of you in December, you're going to decide that you no longer want to be with a certain partner because of that, or there could be some sort of breakup, because Mars is going to be in the 8th house, and it rules your 9th house of marriage, it rules your 9th house of spiritual beliefs, and it's in the 8th house, which means those things are changing. And a lot of you right now, you are interested in having passion in your life, you're interested in having intense experiences, and because Saturn is aspecting Mars, it almost feels as though you feel like your partnerships are really stifling your passion and your lust for life, essentially. So I definitely see that a lot of you are really going to have the courage to start putting yourself out there, to start leaving relationships that you feel like are toxic, because Saturn also aspects your 12th house of your boundaries, and the 12th house is about selfless service. It's about your energy. So a lot of you, Saturn has been teaching you how to emotionally put up boundaries for yourself so you don't overgive to people, and how to protect yourself. But you have been so protective of yourself emotionally that this has really caused a blockage in your heart chakra, is what I'm seeing. So that's something that I see for you guys. A lot of you, because of past experiences, you are not letting yourself get emotionally attached to anyone, or you're not working hard on commitment, or you're being more assertive about your boundaries to push people away because you have not healed from past hurt. And that's what the Sun in the 4th house is really going to show you December 2020. The Sun is your 1st house ruler, and it's going to be in the 4th house of Scorpio, which means that a lot of your energy is going to go through addressing a lot of things from the past that you haven't healed from, that's causing you to be blocked off to intimacy and true emotional connection with other people. That is what the Sun in the 4th is going to do. And because the Sun aspects the 10th house with the North Node, what this shows me is that the more that you let yourself be vulnerable in your, be real with people, really emotionally connect to people, the more success you are going to get at your career, and especially when it comes to your communities at work and working with other people. Because what I'm seeing is Saturn has also been aspecting your 3rd house of communities. It's been aspecting your 3rd house of younger siblings. So some of you guys, you might have some karma going on with your younger sibling, right? Venus being in the third aspecting Saturn is really going to make you work on that relationship with your siblings December 2020 and really heal the relationship with your siblings. And also what I'm hearing is the more that you allow yourself to be vulnerable and authentic to the world, the more you're going to get career success because the Sun and the North Node are aspecting. So what I would say is that this is a huge time about doing a lot of healing when it comes to your fear of intimacy, because a lot of you Leos, you're in this energy where you want to run away from intimacy. As soon as there's a problem, you want to bolt. Some of you guys are in relationships that are toxic, and Mars in the 8th house is going to give you that courage to finally leave whatever relationship that you're in or whatever thing that you're in that you feel burdened by. But for those of you who are in relationships, you guys might just have this runner dynamic because you don't want to get close to people because there's unaddressed wounds from your past that in December you're going to have a chance to heal. And I keep hearing the card Healing Family Issues by Doreen Virtue in the Romance Angels deck. So I really feel a lot of you are going to be doing a lot of karmic healing on your family and doing a lot of healing from the past that allows you to be vulnerable again so you can receive that recognition at your career and job that you deserve that really is going to come through your authenticity. And I also sense a lot of you are going to feel like you have to work extra hard for love or with the relationship with your siblings because Venus is in the 3rd house, which means your efforts. So a lot of you are putting in a lot of efforts into making relationships, into your relationships, and you're feeling that heavy burden by Saturn where you really feel as though you are working extremely hard for the people in your life. And Mars in the 8th house is going to give you that courage to release any burdens that you feel are holding you back. Or what it could do is just give you the courage to really heal yourself so you don't push away good people in your life because you are scared of intimacy or you feel that others are holding you back due to past wounds. So that is what December 2020 is mainly going to bring to you. I do feel that a lot of you are starting a new beginning, which you are very passionate. You have a goal you are passionate about doing. And when we look at your spirit animals, we have the fox, the tiger, and the cheetah. And these are all fast moving and swift animals. So your December 2020 is going to go by fast. There's a lot of movement going on. Some of you could be traveling. There could just be a lot that you're doing, or you might be sprinting to your goals without a plan. And there's also need for you to have plans set because I'm seeing there's a lot of blocked energy when it comes to having a plan. There's just a lot of action towards your goals. So this would be a really good time with Saturn in your 6th house to really start making plans and a schedule, and this is how you're going to be more successful because it is not a sprint, it is a, you know the saying, I don't have to say it. So that's what I see for you, Leo. I hope you guys have a beautiful December 2020. So that's all I have for you. I hope you guys have a great December 2020, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hey, Virgo. Welcome to your December 2020 horoscope using tarot and astrology. Happy holidays. So we're going to take a look first at your tarot chart, your astrology chart, and then we're going to take a look at your tarot cards to see what you can expect December 2020. So Virgo, the sun is going to be in your 3rd house of Scorpio, and this is actually really good because it's going to give you an increase of energy. Whenever the sun is in your 3rd house, this means a lot of you are going to be granted courage to put yourself out there and to really connect with the people around you, because this 3rd house is about courage, it's about your efforts, and when you have sun there, it really gives you a lot of motivation and a lot of courage to take yourself out of your comfort zone. And also because it is your 12th house ruler, and your 12th house ruler rules your spirit guides, it rules your ancestors, because Leo is in the 12th and there's a nakshatra in Leo that is about ancestors. And by the way, guys, I'm using sidereal astrology, so make sure you are a sidereal Virgo rising or moon for this to be accurate. But your spirit guides are really going to be in communication with you December 2020, guys. And I also see it in the tarot because we have the vulture, the hawk, the black egg, and these are your spirit animals. And this really talks about seeing a lot of signs from spirit. And the reason why they talk about seeing signs from spirit is because birds are actually the messengers of the gods. That's what people used to say back in the day. And the vulture and the hawk are going to be two birds that you see quite frequently in December 2020. You might come across the vulture in images or in your real life, as well as the hawk, and this is going to be your spirit guides communicating with you. So look out for the vulture and the hawk December 2020. A lot of you are going to receive bird divination in December 2020, and the reason being is because the sun rules your 12th house of spirituality and spirit guides, and then it's going to be lighting up your 3rd house of your perception and your surroundings. So a lot of your spirit guides are going to be communicating with you through animal symbolism or through your surroundings. So look out for birds, because birds are really going to be communicating with you a lot of truths or a lot of spiritual messages, and you are really going to receive a lot of signs that your spirit guides are around. For those of you who have lost a father or a grandfather or somebody in your father's family that was a male is likely going to be giving you these signs, or it could just be an ancestor you've never met, because the 12th house ruler is your father's family. And also, if your father has deceased, this is likely going to be a time when you're going to have communication with them, with the sun being in the 3rd house, and they are going to do this through signs such as bird symbolism, or through things that you hear from other people, or through movies or through books, because the 3rd house is about communication, such as social media communication, as well as your surroundings. So there's going to be a lot of spirit messages in your surroundings December 2020, and we're going to take a look at what that is. But essentially, guys, what I'm seeing for you is that Saturn has been in your 5th house, and Saturn's aspect is really important because it aspects a lot of house and it brings a lot of karma wherever it is. Saturn's been in your 5th house, aspecting your 7th house, which means that your romantic relationships have felt like a lot of work, your creative partnerships have felt like a lot of work or non-existent, and also this could even be like a lot of you have felt that your luck has been really bad before this month, or that your luck has been bad, your relationships have been really hard, your romantic relationships have been hard or non-existent, or this could even mean the relationships with your children have been very strained. But the good news is Jupiter is in the 5th house, so the relationships with your children are going to get a little better with good lighthearted fun. And also Jupiter in the 5th house really expands your luck. So if you guys are going through a period of bad luck, this is a time when your luck is finally going to start changing. And Saturn also aspects, because it's in the 5th house, it also aspects your 11th house of friendships, your work gains, and Saturn is also aspecting your 2nd house of money. So maybe a lot of you were having a lot of issues with money or seeing your manifestations happen. There's just been a real stifle from Saturn on your luck. But because Jupiter's in your 5th house, your luck is slowly going to start to change. And Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn because Capricorn likes to restrict, meanwhile Jupiter likes to expand. So I will say that for everybody this is happening, the growth on your luck will be slow, but that's why we have your spirit animals being the vulture, the hawk, and the black egg. This talks about making life after, a lot of bad incidences have happened in your life. This is about creating your own luck even after you feel like life has been extremely hard. This is about using alchemy to turn your pain into your blessings. With the black egg, this is about birthing new life after going through a lot of difficult times. So what we can see from the symbolism for your December 2020 is a lot of you are giving birth to a new positive chapter in your life, to new luck after going through a lot of difficult endings and after going through a lot of difficult things in your life. So your luck is going to slowly start to improve. And this is going to happen because Jupiter is aspecting your 9th house of Taurus. So a lot of you have been really adamant about growing your spiritual beliefs, about becoming more spiritual. And this is what you're going to notice December 2020. And also I see a lot of you meeting a teacher in your life because Mars is going to be in your 7th house and the 7th house ruler is in the 5th house. So I really sense a lot of you are going to be meeting people who help expand your creativity. You're going to be meeting people who help you expand your luck in a certain sense. And also, if there has been a stagnation in your love life or with your relationships, I see that slowly changing. And we can also see that with the Two of Wands and the Fool and the Emperor in reverse, the Three of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This means this is the end of really tough times and having to work really hard, and the beginning of fun experiences and creative projects and fun times with other people, when maybe before you have felt very alone, or maybe before you felt like it was you against the world. That's going to start to change because Jupiter is in that 5th and it rules your 7th, and Mars is going to be there. So there is going to be people who enter your life who help grow your finances, who help bring happiness back in your life, who also help expand your creativity or teach you something new that's going to help you create your own luck. So the blockages that you had are finally going to be lifted, where a lot of you are going to be in a better mood, and you are going to have creative ideas that you're feeling optimistic about, that's going to bring you a lot of joy and an advancement after going through a difficult period. So this is when things are going to start getting a lot better for you guys. That's something I want you to know. I also feel that for you guys, one of the big things coming for you is a lot of you are probably going to be very open in December 2020 to connecting to others on social media, or connecting to others like online dating. And actually, with Mars being in your 7th and Jupiter being in your 5th, this is probably a time when you're going to have more luck in the romance sector. So maybe a lot of you felt blocked in romance, like it was just a lot of people weren't quite it, or you had to work really hard to find somebody you liked. This in December is going to be a time where it's more likely you are going to meet somebody, friendships, people that you feel passionate about. And I'm also seeing that for a lot of you, these people could also be people who live far away, or a long distance thing, or it could start over social media. These are all things that I see for you December 2020. And like I said, Jupiter in the 5th is really going to start amping up your mood and your luck after you went through a very difficult period, because Saturn in the 5th house really limits your joy. It makes you be very hardworking for your luck, but now your luck is going to start getting a little better, and this is going to come from other people and from connections, possibly even love. So this is going to be a really positive month for you guys, and I really hope that you have an amazing day, amazing holiday, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hey Libra, welcome to your December 2020 predictions. So the first thing we're going to do for Libra, sidereal rising and moons is we're going to take a look at your astrology chart, and then we're going to go into your tarot and your spirit animals, Libra. Happy holidays, by the way, guys. So what I'm seeing is that Saturn has been in your 4th house of home and family, and it has been aspecting your 6th house. Now, I always like to look at Saturn because Saturn's placements have a lot of aspects and they impact our lives in a really big way. So that's why I always go to Saturn when I'm looking at astrology predictions. So with Saturn in your 4th house, I do feel that a lot of you have been suffering from a lot of karma when it comes to your home and your family. And not only that, a lot of you, because Saturn aspects your 10th house of career, because it is 7 away, and your 10th house of career is ruled by Cancer, which means your emotions about your career. A lot of you have been feeling a little bit stagnant in regards to your career, or the way that you feel about your career and your bosses and your authority figures. Saturn has really been making you feel like you have to put in a lot of work in your career, and this could be something that's really draining you emotionally because you've had to work really hard at your job or your career, or maybe your job and your career was just really stifling your creative energy and your happiness recently. Saturn has really been putting a lot of strain about the way that you feel about your career or what it is that you do in your everyday. And also Saturn has been aspecting your 6th house of health, routine, fitness, and pets. So with Saturn being in the 4th house aspecting the 6th, this is telling me that a lot of you have had to be working really hard recently to take care of your family or maybe take care of your health. So there has been a huge push for you guys to take care of your health from Saturn and to really start healing your mental health, your spiritual health, and your physical health. So you guys might have been feeling that push for a very long time. Also, with the North Node being in your 8th house of transformations and its ruler Venus being in your 1st house, a lot of you are being called to transform your body and your appearance in a way that is healthy and makes you feel good. So a lot of you might be going through a little bit of a glow up right now, And this is from all of the transformations you have made on yourself internally, because the North Node in the 8th house of Taurus for you has really caused you to really want to transform yourself. It's giving you that extra energy on how it is that you can transform yourself, right? And I feel with Venus being in the 1st house, a lot of you are transforming your appearance and your personality in a big way that allows you to feel more confident about yourself. So your appearance is definitely going through a lot of positive changes due to the transformations and the inward transformations you have made. I'm also hearing that a lot of you have had to be working extremely hard recently because, like I said, Saturn is aspecting your 10th house of career, which means that your everyday routine seems to be about doing. There's a lot of structure and dedication involved, and it's really stifling your creativity. It's stifling your intuition because you've had to focus a lot on the practical and the mundane. And this is what we see with the Empress, the Ace of Coins, the High Priestess, the Knight of Swords, and the Ten of Wands in reverse. This is a clear indication to me that your feminine energy, which is your creation energy, your creative energy, has been very blocked because a lot of you have been very busy trying to push forward with this Knight of Swords on mundane activities. And also what I'm hearing is a lot of you guys are very much in your heads. So because you're overthinking and in your heads, this is actually causing a block in your creation energy, your feminine energy. So I would definitely work in December 2020 on increasing your feminine energy. And one of the ways that you can do this with Saturn being in the 4th house is by making your space a beautiful place. This is a part of feminine energy because masculine energy is creation, but the feminine energy is the environment in which you create in. And my sister told me that, and it's totally accurate. So, maybe before you thought decorating your home was a waste of time, or maybe before you thought making your living space was a waste of time, but actually making your environment a beautiful, inspiring place is going to help you push forward in your career or wherever it is that you work. So this is a very big thing. So Saturn is really pushing with you to let go of behaviors that with this Empress, the Ace of Pentacles, and the High Priestess in reverse, maybe overindulging or something like that, because feminine energy does have a tendency, because it rules Taurus, to overindulge in our senses. So really, you're given the motivation in December to really start being more active, to be more proactive about making the changes that you want, and really be more disciplined with yourself. And this is the blessing that you're receiving. Also, with your spirit animals, we have the hyena, we have the dolphin, and we have the oyster, guys. So these are your spirit animals for December 2020. Look out for these signs because spirit will be manifesting themselves to you as these animals. And what I can see by this is December 2020 is actually going to be really good for you because, first of all, with the dolphin, I'm seeing that a lot of you are going to be having a lot of good times, specifically with your friendships. Your friendships are going to be something that you have a really good time. It's like a really good time with the people that you're hanging around because dolphins are social creatures. They also laugh. The hyena laughs. So what I'm hearing from this is your best medicine is laughter, guys. And I see a lot of good times around you. I see a lot of laughter. The oyster talks about the riches of life. The oyster talks about the riches. It talks about money. It talks about abundance. So I also see that abundance is going to be coming to you, but specifically an abundance in good times and feeling really happy, and an abundance in feeling really good about the changes that you are making that are going to positively impact you. That's all I have for you, Libra. I hope you guys have a merry holiday, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hey, Scorpios. Welcome to your December 2020 prediction. So we're going to look at your horoscope, birth chart, and then we're also going to look at the tarot cards to see what you can expect December 2020. So Scorpio, December 2020 is actually going to be pretty awesome for you because the sun, which is your 10th house ruler, is going to be in your first house, which means that a lot of you are going to feel extremely dedicated and determined to really start shining in the world. Like, this is a time when you're going to finally have the confidence to really start putting yourself out there. You're going to start feeling confident about yourself and your abilities, and your creativity is just going to be shining, and a lot of you are just going to be feeling really good about yourself. And also because the sun rules your 10th house of career and your bosses, you guys are going to be doing really well in your career, and your bosses are going to favor you, and there is going to be a lot of recognition coming your way, a lot of positive recognition from your superiors and also at work, and pretty much all eyes are going to be on you. And this is going to be a time where you really want to start putting yourself out in the world and making a name for yourself as a Scorpio rising or moon in sidereal astrology. Now it's interesting because the North Node is in your 7th house of your fame and your public image, because the 7th house is 10th from the 10th, which means the 7th house is about your fame and it's about making a name for yourself. Sorry, I have to make sure it's still recording. Making a name for yourself out in the world. So essentially with the sun and the North Node opposing each other, a lot of you are going to get a lot of recognition for pretty much like who it is that you are in your everyday routine, in your professional life. You're going to get a lot of luck. And the reason being is because the ruler of your first house, which is Mars, because Mars is the original ruler of Scorpio, is going to be in, sorry if I'm misfocusing, is going to be in your 5th house of creativity and taking risk. So a lot of you are finally going to have the bravery to become creative, to take risks, to put yourself out there, to put your true expression out in the world in a way where you feel confident. And because of that, you guys are going to be shining in December 2020. And I want you to know that. And even when we take a look at your tarot cards, we have the moth, we have the frog, and we also have the butterfly. And these are your spirit animals for December 2020. And it's very interesting because these spirit animals you're going to see in December 2020, because spirit likes to manifest as physical signs such as animals or insects. You will see a lot of the moth, the frog, and the dragonfly in your everyday, or images of it. This is signs from your spirit guides. They are around. And also what I have found in my own psychic research, it's that spirit guides, specifically feminine spirit guides, like to manifest themselves as these things. And Venus is going to be in your 12th house of your spirit guides. Now, this normally means your father's mother, okay? Or this could mean, this normally means your father's mother or your mother's father. Am I right? Yeah, your father's mother or your mother's father. But for a lot of you, because Venus is in the 12th house, I feel like it is a feminine energy, a spirit guide that is going to be watching over you December 2020, and they are going to show themselves as a moth, a frog, or a dragonfly to you. Absolutely. And I want you to know that. Also, what I want to tell you guys is that, you know, when I look at these spirit animals, these look a lot like the beginning of spring. We see these insects and these animals come out when it's springtime after a big rain. So if you guys have been going through a lot emotionally, a lot of sadness, or a lot of winter, it's almost going to start feeling like springtime for you in December 2020, because you are going to be feeling confident. You are going to be putting yourself out there. You're going to be expressing yourself, because the moth is about expression and the dragonfly is about grace. And you are going to be putting yourself out there with grace that garners you a lot of attention. And you guys are going to be feeling so much more better in December 2020. I want you guys to know that. Like, this is your time, guys. A lot of you, when I see the 10 of Cups, the High Priestess, and the 3 of Swords in reverse, a lot of you were dealing with in the past a lot of pain when it came to your family, or when it came to your emotional happiness. There was a lot of heartbreak you were dealing with. Maybe you guys were dealing with a lot of karma when it came to feminines in your life, such as your mother, because we have the 10 of Cups, the High Priestess in reverse, and the 3 of Swords. Maybe you were dealing with a lot of family karma with your younger siblings, or maybe you were dealing with a lot of karma emotionally with your emotions, and a lot of you just felt really unhappy. But now you're coming into a time where your confidence is going to be back. However, I do see with these cards, there is an imbalance in your feminine energy. A lot of you are not in touch with your emotions, and you're relying too heavily on your masculine energy, as I see with the sun, okay, in upright, whereas the High Priestess is in reverse. So a lot of you, I will say this, Saturn is in your 3rd house, and I always look at Saturn. Saturn is very important. Sorry, I keep unfocusing. Saturn is very important because Saturn's aspects really impact what we can expect December 2020. And for you guys, Saturn was in the third house, and it's aspecting your sixth house, and it also aspects the ninth house. So a lot of you, there has been a lot of restrictions when it comes to your teachers. A lot of you might feel like your spiritual teachers are really harsh on you. You might feel as though your teachers are harsh on you, or you might have felt that your father has been harsh on you. You might have been feeling a lot of restrictions or a lot of depression when it comes to your family traditions, missing home. Cancer in the ninth house with Saturn opposing it really talks about Saturn restricting your feelings on the ninth house of spirituality, and also your family's belief systems, and also your beliefs about home and family. And Saturn has been really restricting your ninth house of your spiritual mind. So a lot of you do have this disconnect from your spiritual mind, your higher self, and true spirituality. But I feel like the reason being is because right now you're learning how to really master your divine masculine and put yourself out in the world. But there does need to be a reconnection with spirituality again, because Jupiter is in the third house now in Capricorn, aspecting your seventh house, aspecting the ninth house, which is 7 houses away. So it's really causing you to expand your spiritual mind, okay, guys, to expand your intuition. This is what you're being called to do, because your intuition is going to be your eternal compass about what direction you need to go. So there is going to be an increase in mood or increased interest in spirituality. Maybe there's going to be a better relationship with your spiritual teachers or your teachers. And I'm sorry, guys, if you think I'm harsh on you, I don't mean to be. I'm a human. I have trauma. But, there's going to be a better relationship with your teachers, a better relationships with spirituality, with God, and also healing from past family things or family traditions. There's going to be, Jupiter is really going to increase your mood, but slowly when it comes to these things, because remember, Jupiter in Capricorn is debilitated, and Saturn restricts it a little bit, but it's a slow build where you're slowly building up to it. You're slowly transforming, where you're getting in touch with your intuition about it a little better. You're slowly more developing your higher wisdom of spirituality, and you're starting to feel really good because of it. So, appreciate the small things, because that's really expanding. And I really just sense a lot of you are being called to really develop your talent, to work on your talents, guys. And this might mean getting a teacher or really being dedicated to your higher learning. And also with Mars being in your 5th house, you guys are going to have an increase in creativity. And this creativity is going to lead you to really being dedicated to making changes to really expand your creativity. Because for a while, you guys were very intuitively and creatively stuck because your higher mind was stifled by Saturn in the 3rd. So this is a very positive change for you guys, where you're going to get recognition, because a lot of you really want that at this time. The North Node is in Taurus. You guys are going to get it. But after this month, this is really going to be a focus with the new moon in Scorpio on healing your emotions and things you haven't addressed. So this is going to be a time of self-discovery, self-expression, finding who you are, and really just putting yourself out in the world in a really great energy, guys. So Scorpios, I like you. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays. Bye.
Happy holidays! I want to let you guys know that my brand Lilith Ascendant has finally come out with the Sagittarius candle, which was specifically designed for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, and Risings. And when you burn it all the way down, there is a special surprise inside. And spoiler alert, it is a crystal, but you have to subscribe to our monthly candle subscription to save 25% and get the special edition crystal. And the offer ends December 2nd, so be sure to check out lilithascendant.com. The link is in the pinned comment and the description. And be sure to check out the candles on our sites, because we have all of the different astrological candles. They are natural soy wax. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you soon.
Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your December 2020 prediction using tarot as well as astrology. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at your astrological chart for December 2020, and then we're going to move on to your tarot as well as your spirit animals. So Sagittarius, let's take a look at this chart. So what's going on for you guys? First of all, Saturn, which I always like to look at because Saturn's transits are extremely important when figuring out what we can expect, is going to be in your 2nd house of your family, of your money, and also its aspects are really important because Saturn in the 2nd house can really do a lot in your horoscope because it makes a lot of aspects. So Saturn is aspecting your 4th house, which means a lot of you feel like you have to put in a lot of effort with your home, with your family, or possibly even your mother. Saturn in the 2nd house and the 4th house, there has been a lot of karma in your family life. There has been a lot of restrictions in your family happiness, and there has been a lot of restrictions in also your emotional vulnerability as well, and also just in general with you feeling satisfied in your home or with your family or with your past. A lot of you were just feeling for a while, since Saturn has been in your 2nd, very unhappy with your home and family life, and emotionally you might have been feeling a little bit depressed when it came to your family relationships or your home life. There was that big restriction going on there. And you know, with Jupiter going into your 2nd house of Capricorn, this is actually really good, because I do sense that Jupiter is going to make this transit a lot better, because Jupiter is the great benefic. But specifically what I'm also seeing is that Jupiter is aspecting the North Node in your 6th house of Taurus. So this is really going to give you a lot of energy and motivation. Some of you guys are feeling a little bit angry December 2020. This is what I'm seeing. Or you're feeling very motivated to achieve in your career or with your status, because Mars is in the 4th aspecting your 10th house. So a lot of you are going to be doing a lot of work trips, a lot of traveling, or there's going to be a lot of energy involved in making your goals happen. But specifically what I see for you guys is that, you know, this also deals with a lot of enemies as well, because the North Node is in your 6th house of enemies and Jupiter is aspecting it. So what this is going to do, guys, is if you are worried about your enemies, and your enemies, like the 6th house represents mistresses, it represents the other woman, it represents your enemies. So like the enemy to your relationship, the competitors that you're working with, or people who are out to get you, Jupiter in the 6th house is going to protect you from your enemy. Jupiter in the 2nd house is going to protect you from your enemies. Jupiter is going to show you how to protect yourself from your enemies. So this is going to be a really good time. Like anyone who has been out to get you, anybody who you deem as an enemy, Jupiter in the 2nd house will protect you from that. And I really do sense that a lot of you guys are actually going to be, feeling very strong December 2020. Because if we look at your spirit animals, we have the raccoon, we have the lion, and we have the wolf. And all of these are very strong creatures. And a lot of strength is coming from these cards, and these are the 3 animals that you are going to see, or spirit is going to manifest themselves to you as these 3 animals in December 2020. So this will be a sign from spirit that there are around. So look for the raccoon, the lion, and the wolf, or you guys might resonate with these animals. But what I'm seeing from this essentially is a lot of you are no longer in hiding, you're no longer going to be in fear, and now you guys are stepping into a time of strength and bravery with the lion and the wolf, where you guys know no one can mess with you, and you're getting a lot of confidence in really solving a lot of life's anxieties. Maybe before, a lot of you were suffering with this raccoon with a lot of anxieties, a lot of fear, a lot of nervousness, but with the lion and the wolf in December, you are going to be given that extra strength and that extra courage, knowing that you can defeat any obstacle in your way. And that's what is beautiful about your spirit animals. And also another thing that I'm noticing is lions and wolves run in packs. Maybe before, a lot of you with this raccoon, you would hide yourself in the dark. You would run away scared. You would, hide yourself in the shadows. In December, especially towards the end of December, when the sun enters your 1st house, this is going to be a time where a lot of you are going to gain that confidence back and gain that confidence to really put yourself out in the world, because you know you will defeat any obstacle that comes your way. So this is a really amazing time for you, especially when it comes to finding your pack, finding your tribe, and also being a leader amongst your friends, being a leader amongst your tribe. So this is a really cool thing to have, because essentially when I also look at your tarot of the Ace of Wands, the 5 of Wands, the 6 of Swords, and the 9 of Wands, and the Tower and the 8 of Wands, this all talks about action, this all talks about energy, this all talks about passion, and this all talks about drive, and they are all upright, which means there are no blocked energies and you really getting what you need to done. So you guys are really going to have a lot of energy and motivation and passions to go towards your goals. And this is something that you're going to feel very passionate about, especially when we have the Jupiter in the second house. Okay, guys, this aspects the eighth house of your intimacy, of your passion. So you're going to see an increase of your passions coming up. You're going to start loving adventure. You're going to start loving change, because Jupiter is amping up the Cancer, which is a feeling sign in your eighth house, which deals with change, transformations, unexpected things. A lot of you are going to be dealing with unexpected things or changes that are positive, that make you feel invincible. You guys are going to be feeling invincible, essentially, and you are going to know that nobody compares to you and what it is that you do or who it is that you are. So if before you were struggling with insecurity or struggling with feeling worthy, that is really going to shift for you December 2020. There's going to be a knowing that you have something special in you with this Ace of Wands and this Five of Wands that is going to be the thing that really makes you know that to keep going towards your passions. Like, yes, you might be dealing with a lot of competitors with the Five of Wands, whether that feels like you're competing for someone's attention or competing at your job, but you are going to be victorious over those competitors with this Eight of Wands in the Tower, because you are going to have extra strength and extra courage, guys. And also, for those of you who have lost a father, your father being in the 12th house of your spirit guides, this normally means that your father is acting as a spirit guide, or a male in your father's family is acting as a spirit guide to you December 2020, giving you the courage to face your obstacles and giving you the courage to push past any obstacles that you are going through and giving you the strength to do it. Because I do feel with this energy, a lot of you have been going through a lot of pushing, a lot of obstacles, a lot of competition, a lot of walls. But I'm hearing that you are going to break down walls and break down blockages with your sheer passion and energy December 2020. So there's a lot of passionate energy coming for you December 2020. A lot of passion, creativity, activity coming in for you December 2020, especially when it comes to your career. So we also look at Saturn's aspect. It is also aspecting your 11th house of friendships, which means that in the past, friendships or your community circles were something that was really hard for you. But because Mars is in your 4th house and it is aspecting Venus in your 8th, this is giving you the courage to really push yourself out there and really make a lot of friends at this time. So there's going to be an increase in your friendships. There's going to be an increase in your courage to overcome obstacles is what I'm hearing for you guys. And there's also going to be, you know, one thing that I definitely see for you guys is that there's going to be some divine inspiration that comes to you in regards to your job and career and where it is that you need to put your energy, because Jupiter in the 2nd house aspects your 9th house. Jupiter in the 2nd house is 9 away from the 10th house, which means you are getting divine inspiration about your career. And with Mercury ruling Virgo, the 10th house and the 12th house, you are getting divine inspiration about where to put your energies in your career, and those energies are going to be successful, and you are going to know which direction you should go in your career through Jupiter aspecting your 9th house of your higher mind, giving you that wisdom through what it is you feel like doing and you're passionate about doing. If you feel like it, if you are passionate about it, then you should follow that passion, because Mars is in the 4th. And when Jupiter is giving you divine inspiration about your career and your everyday life, with Mercury being in the 12th and its ruler being in the 4th, you are getting divine inspiration through your feelings and through your passions about where you need to take your reputation, your career, and you're just going to be feeling this huge destiny pull you towards that. And this is something that's really going to be awesome, because you're going to be sure about your destiny and what it is you need to be doing, and you're not going to be afraid to release things that are no longer in your destiny. So there's a lot of bravery and courage happening here, guys. I'm so happy for you. That's all I have for you. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hey Capricorn, welcome to your December 2020 prediction based on tarot and astrology. So first, we're going to look at your chart for rising Capricorn and Moon Capricorn for sidereal astrology. So let's take a look at this, guys. So first of all, what's happening is Saturn's been in your first house or conjunction your moon, and this is really difficult because Saturn really just puts a lot of restrictions and delays, and it was also restricting your third house of siblings and your community. So there might have also been this need for you guys to detach from the outside world. Saturn was really trying to get you to detach from the outside world. It's been putting a lot of karma on your younger siblings. Maybe the relationship with them has been very strained because of Saturn aspecting your third house, or maybe there's been a need for you to really detach from social media or detach from communicating with your old communities, or maybe you've just been feeling more introverted with Saturn really putting restrictions on your third house of communication, of travel, of social media. So Saturn's really been restricting that. And the third house is also your effort. So maybe a lot of you feel like everything is a lot of effort. You have to put a lot of effort into everything that you're doing, especially when it comes to developing your talents, right? Saturn has really made you feel like you've had to work really hard to do anything, and that can be draining at times. So maybe you lacked motivation, or maybe you were very focused on developing some sort of skill for the last year since Saturn's been in Capricorn. And also Saturn has also been aspecting your 7th house of Cancer, which is your emotions and the way that you feel about your relationships. So maybe even too, a lot of you have been feeling a little dissatisfied in your relationships, or dissatisfied in the outside world, or dissatisfied by the people around you, and you might prefer to be introverted. Or maybe there's been a fear of putting yourself out there, or a fear or some sort of like restriction on your relationships, like your relationships feel emotionally draining. And then Saturn has been aspecting your 10th house of career. So what this is showing me is because Mars is in the 3rd house with the 3rd aspect from Saturn, a lot of you are really being given the courage at this time, because the 3rd house is about courage. And when Mars is in the 3rd house, it gives you a lot of courage to get what you need to done. So there might be an increase in your energy, an increase in the things that you have to do, an increase in drive to get things that you need to done. And there could even be, some sort of incident that really makes you face some sort of karma that you have with a younger sibling. But essentially Mars in the 3rd house is really good because it gives you the courage and drive to get what you need to done and to do what it is that you want. Now the 3rd house ruler is in the 1st house. So what I'm seeing is a lot of you feel very indecisive, and we can see this with the tarot cards as well, where we have the 8 of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the 2 of Pentacles, the Lovers, and the Page of Pentacles in reverse. This is a clear indication to me a lot of you have a hard time making up your mind, okay? Because the Lovers is about decisions, the 2 of Pentacles is about juggling 2 things, and the Ace of Swords is making a clear-cut decision. So it's really hard for you at this time to make a clear-cut decision or to decide what it is that you want to do. And that's because Jupiter is a little debilitated in Capricorn, which means that, with Pisces ruling your 3rd, which originally rules Jupiter, and that being in your 1st house, a lot of you could have a lot of confusion about where to put your efforts or what direction to take. And a lot of you just don't know what it is that you should be doing. And a lot of you might be having a lot of drive, but you're having confusion about where to put your efforts, essentially, is what I'm seeing for you guys. And what I'm also seeing by your spirit animals in December 2020, which are the zebra, the panther, and the turtle. Watch out for these spirit animals, Capricorn. You guys might see them a lot in December 2020 as signs and symbols from your spirit guides. But the zebra talks about being in between dimensions. It's black or white, not being able to choose between black and white. And the panther talks about an increased energy, an increased drive, an increase in wanting to achieve your goals. And the turtle talks about deep emotional healing. One of my favorite movies, my sister showed me this movie, it's American Honey, and she showed me it because we're both named Star, and at the end she releases a turtle into the pond, which is about deep emotional healing. The turtle is about emotional abundance. So essentially what's going on, guys, is that you guys feel indecisive about where it is you want to put your efforts, but you're feeling very motivated to really put yourself out there, to really do something. You just don't know what it is you want to do. Like, you're feeling restless. You don't know what it is you want to do. You just know that you want to do something. That's essentially what's going on here. I feel that with this Page of Pentacles in reverse, this also talks about younger siblings, or like the people in your life you could be having a lot of issues and karma with. But this also talks about feeling like you're not sure what to learn, or you're not sure what to do now, or what new beginning to take. So this has been very difficult for you, Capricorn, and I feel you. I'm a Capricorn moon in sidereal astrology. But the good news is that Venus is aspecting your 10th house. Saturn is aspecting your 10th house, where Venus is going to be in Libra, and then Mars in the 3rd house is going to give you the courage, with Venus being in your 10th house, to really put yourself out in the world, and not being scared about that, or not being scared about how people are going to take your creativity. Because, guys, with the North Node being in the 5th house, a lot of you are being called right now to really focus on your creative expression, and that ruler, Venus, is in your 10th house, which means you are really meant to put your creative expression out in the world, or put yourself out in the world in an authentic way. And Mars in the 3rd is giving you that courage to really change your career into a direction that you're really passionate about, as opposed to staying in a career that you're just doing for stability. Mars in the 3rd house aspecting Venus in the 10th is giving you that courage to really change your career or your life to be something that involves your creative pursuits and your passions. Mars in the 3rd house aspecting Venus in the 10th is giving you that courage to put your art and your real authentic self out into the world. That's what Mars wants you to do. It's giving you the courage to put your real authentic self out in the world. But how are you going to do that unless you really do a lot of self-discovery? So if a lot of you have been doing a lot of self-work and self-discovery, you are really going to have, a blessed public image. Blessed things are going to come for you in regards to your career and feeling good about your career. But if you guys don't really know who you are yet, and you're still confused, Jupiter in the 1st is going to really help you figure out who it is you truly are without the mask, who it is you truly are without your fears and insecurity, who it is that you truly are at the core. Jupiter in your 1st is going to help you discover that, but it is debilitated, so it's going to be a slow growth into becoming who it is you truly are. And with Jupiter being in the 5th of Taurus, this is going to amp your creativity, your inner child, and your creative passion. So a lot of you are going to feel very motivated to develop some sort of creative skill, or to develop your creativity or your creative expression, or something that you do for fun. You're being really pressured by Saturn to do it, and Jupiter, but also with Jupiter aspecting the 9th house of Virgo, you are being called to get a teacher, okay? Because Jupiter's 9th aspect is what you must do, okay? So Jupiter gives you practical knowledge in its 5th aspect, so you're getting practical knowledge about who it is you are, self-development, and becoming your authentic self and your creative expression. But with Jupiter being 9 houses away from the 9th house, this talks about you need to get a teacher. You need to interact with other people who are going to help teach you. You need, maybe even yourself, you're becoming a little bit of a teacher yourself with Jupiter being in your 1st. So, maybe a lot of your friends are coming to you for wisdom or your advice. You're being really called to interact with other people, and interactions with other people are going to teach you a lot about your creativity as well as spirituality and who it is you really are. So you're really being called at this time to have interactions with others. I do sense that, definitely. And I feel like a lot of you are really torn, because we do have the zebra and the panther. We have the predator and the prey. So it kind of feels that a lot of you are very scared of interacting with other people, or mistrustful about how they're going to take you. But also we have the the zebra, which is they run in packs, and also the turtle. So this is really about learning how to let down your guards and let down your shell, and learn when to speak up, and learn when not necessarily everybody is a threat. So this is what you're really learning December 2020. And I also feel that a lot of you are going to have some sort of creative project that comes to you, a lot of partnerships with other people who are going to increase your creativity. A lot of that stuff is going to happen for you, because you're meant to develop your creativity, get a teacher, and really develop who it is you truly are. So that is what I see for you guys. I hope this helped you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hey Aquarius, welcome to your December 2020 prediction. So I'm going to first take a look at your chart for Aquarius rising and moon and sidereal astrology. Then we're going to get into your tarot. So Aquarius, what is it that I see for you? Well, first of all, a lot of you have a difficult Saturn placement. Your first house ruler is in the 12th house of Capricorn, and the 12th house is about selfless service, self-sacrifice, and also your efforts that you put into your career. So a lot of you have been putting in a lot of efforts when it comes to your professional life and your career, and this has been something that has been very draining for you is what I'm seeing. Some of you could have even been working in professions recently that has to do with healing other people, working with older people, working with underprivileged, working with the needy, or being a healer yourself. But there's been a lot of focus with you being in the 12th house, your ruler Saturn being in the 12th house, because Aquarius is originally ruled by Saturn, where you feel like you have a lot of duty and responsibility to your career, to your job, and you're putting in a lot of efforts. However, Saturn is also restricting your second house of Pisces, and Pisces is about your belief systems, and your belief systems about money. So Saturn's aspect to your second house of Pisces with Mars being there is asking you to rewrite your beliefs about money. It's asking you to really fix your beliefs about money. Because if we look at your tarot with the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, in reverse, the Five of Swords, this talks about some unhealthy dynamic when it comes to your money or financial situation. Maybe some of you believe that you have to work really hard for money, or money is really hard to come by, or that money is evil. There is an unhealthy dynamic you have with money, and essentially, Spirit is really working with you at this time to heal your beliefs about money so you are able to attract more money in your life. This also looks like a lot of you feel you have to work really hard to feel satisfied in life. You have to work really hard to feel emotionally satisfied, as I see with Saturn aspecting your second house. But with Mars being there, what this is going to do is it's going to help you rewrite your beliefs about money and also how much you're worth. A lot of you might feel like you're not worth a lot because Saturn is aspecting your second house. So you might take less than what you deserve, or you guys might have also some issues with trusting other people as well, because the second house is about trust. But this is really going to give you the courage in December to rewrite your beliefs about money so you are able to attract more abundance into your life, essentially, because there has to be a rewriting about your beliefs about money. If you believe money is evil and that people with money are evil, this is really going to block abundance in your life, and you don't have to work so hard to obtain resources, or at the very least, there needs to be you accepting more for the work that you're doing instead of constantly giving, because this constant giving brings resentment, right? So there needs to be a rewrite in your money situation. But I'm also seeing that Saturn is also aspecting your sixth house of your work and your routine, and the sixth house has Cancer, which deals with your emotions. So a lot of you feel like you really have to you feel very emotionally burdened by your work or by the work that you're doing. You feel overly drained, and that's why you're being called to really accept what you deserve in regards to finances. If you've been working a lot and you haven't been seeing it in your financial situation, you're being called to up your self-worth and ask for more, because you deserve more for all of the energy you have been putting out into the world. Because the 12th house, where all your planets are, the big planets, Jupiter and Saturn, it's about the energy you put into your career, and it's about losses. So really, this is really trying to get you to accept what you deserve in regards to energy when it comes to overgiving and accepting the money that you're owed. And also what this shows me is a lot of you with Saturn in the 12th, you have problems with trust and release. And Saturn is really trying to push you into releasing the fear about investing in yourself as well. Maybe some of you are overly protective of your money, or you're saving or hoarding a lot of your money, because when we look at the dragon in regards to your animal, spirit animal, the dragons like to hoard gold. They protect gold, and essentially there might be like a fear of spending your money or investing in yourself. Because I'll tell you something, the 12th house is about investments. I have the North Node in my 12th house right now as a Gemini rising, And I've had to invest a lot in good camera equipment. I've had to invest a lot in more tarot cards. I've had to invest a lot in a better computer, a better mic. I've had to invest a lot of energy and money into making my goals a reality. And I couldn't cry about the money I had to invest or the spilled milk about having to pay more rent for a better recording space, because I knew that my investments would pay off for me. So really, this is testing your faith and your trust that your investments in yourself are going to pay off. And obviously, be responsible. This is a general reading, but there's almost an unwillingness to invest more in yourself, invest more time, invest more energy. Maybe you guys just you feel that you have to just hold on to where you are, when you could be moving forward by investing some time and energy in yourself, or whatever it is you need to do, essentially. So that's one thing that I am seeing for you guys. Also, with your 7th house ruler being in the 10th house, and the 10th house is your career. Scorpio is about change, and your 10th house ruler being in your 2nd house, a lot of you might be changing a lot of what it is that you do for money, or maybe a lot of you have a fear about success. There's also a fear of success being stated here, guys, in your astrology chart, because your 10th house ruler is in the 2nd house of Pisces, and that is in the 12th of being hidden away. So maybe you guys are not really investing in yourselves and moving forward because you are scared of success, or you're scared of actually putting yourself out there. Or maybe there's a lot of self-worth issues that are unconsciously blocking you from the success that you deserve, because our unconscious dictates our conscious behaviors. And if you don't feel worthy or good enough, then why would you invest more into expanding yourself if you feel like there's no point? So essentially, that's what's being highlighted for you during this time. And also, there's going to be, likely with the North Node ruled by Venus in your 4th going into your 9th, there's going to be an increased relationship with your father at this time. And also, your father, or a male in your life, or males in your life at this time, could be giving you a lot of spiritual knowledge as well, or something like that. That's something I also see for you. But honestly, Aquarius, I just see a lot of fears involved, because your first ruler's in your 12th house of fears and your self-undoing. So it's almost like a lot of you have a lot of fears that are going on in regards to putting yourself out there in the spotlight, in regards to really investing in yourself. You're dealing with a lot of fears right now. And I'm hearing that meditation is something that's really going to help with your mind, okay? Because your mind is going through a lot. So meditate for 5 minutes a day. Just don't think about anything for 5 minutes every day. Have a timer. This is going to help your anxiety a lot. You just think about nothing for 5 minutes and close your eyes. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just do it for 5 minutes a day with a timer, and it's going to help your anxiety a lot with whatever it is that you're going through. Also, there is also going to be 12, 11, 10. There has also been, what was I going to say? I think that's all I have for you, Aquarius. But the sun in the 10th house is going to be good, because I do feel that a lot of you are going to be feeling a lot more brave. And I also feel like you guys might be put in a leadership position, or a position of authority coming up, because the sun is going to be in the 10th house. So I kind of just feel like a lot of drive, like, you're no longer going to let fear control you, essentially. So I see more bravery to put yourself out there and step into your leadership role is essentially what I'm seeing for you guys. So that's all I have for you. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hey Pisces, welcome to your December 2020 prediction. Happy holidays. So first, we're going to look at your astrology chart for Pisces rising and moons in sidereal astrology, and then we are going to move on to your tarot cards. So Pisces, the first thing that I'm seeing for you is that your first house ruler is in your 11th house of wishes and dreams, which is Jupiter, and Saturn is also there in your 11th house of wishes, dreams, and manifestations. So essentially, there is this huge energy where you guys are going to be feeling extremely motivated to make your dreams a practical reality, because because remember, Jupiter wants to give you blessings, but Saturn next to Jupiter wants to really make it a practical reality through practical steps and through practical hard work. So when we look at your spirit animals, we do have the mouse, the bear, and the bee, and these all talk about hard work. We have the bee, which is about hard work, and we also have the bear, which is about saving your resources for the winter. Mouses also save their resources for the winter and they burrow. So this is really about you guys really putting in a lot of practical work into making your dreams a reality. And this is really about you guys feeling motivated to really start making your dreams come true through a practical plan. This is the energy of Jupiter and Saturn in your 11th, as well as with your spirit animals. So a lot of you, your spirit animals for December 2020 are the mouse, the bear, and the bee. And you guys will be seeing these animals a lot through other readers or through prints or images or in person, because this is a sign from your spirit guides. And also I feel like this is a sign that you guys can manifest the reality that you want right now, because when Jupiter and Saturn is in your 11th house of manifestations and wishes, and it's aspecting your first house of Pisces, and Pisces is about your beliefs in your dreams, okay? This is about anything that you have faith that you can accomplish, and if you believe in your manifestations, you can make it a practical reality. So this is teaching you that you can manifest what it is that you want on earth. That is what this transit is teaching you guys. This transit is teaching you that you can manifest whatever you want on earth right now, because you are a co-creator, but you have to have faith in yourself and your dreams, okay? This is the huge spiritual lesson about it. And also with Jupiter, Saturn being in the 11th, Saturn restricts, okay? It makes things practical, and Jupiter wants to grant you your wishes. So essentially this means you can manifest what it is that you want on earth, but it is also very important for you to put in the practical effort. And also this means manifestations may come slow, and that is because you are really working on really strengthening your belief and your faith in yourself to really evolve and also manifest what you want. So, you know, this might be a slower process, but essentially when I see the Nine of Cups, the Star in reverse, the Six of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the Empress, this really talks about to me that a lot of you are going to receive a successful manifestation after a lot of hard work. So you guys are going to receive some money. You're going to receive something that you have been manifesting, something that is worth celebrating after you have been doing a lot of inner work and a lot of practical work. Because the Star in reverse kind of just means a lot of you have been really focusing on healing yourself inwardly and really transforming inside. And because of that, your outward reality is really going to start manifesting as a lot of blessings and success and manifestations coming to you December 2020. And I also feel like this is likely going to be a time for you guys where a lot of you really need to figure out, if you don't know what your dreams and goals and aspirations are, this is going to be a time where you are going to figure out what it is that you want to create, what it is you want to do, and what direction you want to be on. This is something that's going to finally come to you. So if you have been really soul searching, trying to figure out what it is that you want to build with your life, a lot of you are about to get a lot of clarity on what direction you want, and you're going to get a lot of clarity about what it is that you want to be and create here on earth. So there's a need for you to really reflect with this Four of Swords and this Empress on what it is that you want to manifest. What dreams do you want to make a reality, and start making that practical effort towards that. Now, Saturn in your 11th house also aspects your 5th house of your children. So a lot of you could be feeling like there's a lot of burden with your children or the way you feel about your children, but also Saturn aspecting the 5th of Cancer, which is about your emotions and your individual creativity. This is really trying to get you to be emotionally strong about how you feel about your own creative expressions. Some of you with Saturn being in the 11th, you might have felt like your own creative expression was very restricted, or you felt very uninspired by that. But Jupiter being in the 11th is really going to help with that, and it's also going to give you a renewed sense of creativity, a renewed sense of inspiration, and feeling good about yourself and what you have to give to the world. Jupiter in the 11th is aspecting the 5th too, so it's really going to start building your self-esteem when it comes to what you give to the world and the things that you create. Believing in your creations is what's coming for you December 2020. Now, Saturn is also aspecting your first house, like I said, so this does make you be someone who is very practical, very hardworking. You guys might have noticed you've been working a lot, or you've been getting very organized, or you've been very disciplined about your health or your body, or you've been very disciplined about earning money. A lot of you have been very disciplined with that, and because of that, you are going to reap some of that, some of those rewards in December 2020, because the bee is also about honey, the sweetness of life. So you guys are manifesting rewards for all of the hard work you have done in December. That's going to give you some extra time to rest, as I can see with the Four of Swords, and I can also see with the Empress. A lot of you guys are going to be having some time to rest. That is really going to recharge you. That's going to amp up your creativity. And there's also a need for you with Mouse and Bear and this Four of Swords, which talks about nesting, to really make your bed a sacred space, or your home a sacred space, or your home a comfy space. There's this huge emphasis on your bed and sleep being very important for you at this time. Getting good sleep, making your bed comfy, making your home a comfy place where you can create. This is going to be something that's really emphasized at this time. And also, if you do have children, the relationship with your children are going to get better at this time, as we can see with the Bear, the Four of Swords, and the Empress. A lot of you are really increasing your feminine energy, and because of that, you're increasing your creativity, you're increasing your intuition. So these are all very positive things. And also, you know, Jupiter in your 11th house is aspecting your 3rd house of your environment. So like I said, it is very important for you to have your environment be someplace that's comfy, cozy, and aesthetically pleasing for you, with Jupiter aspecting the 3rd house, in order for you to be creative and in order for you to create. Also, Jupiter is also aspecting your 7th house of Virgo, which means that this is the perfect time for you guys to really start transforming your public image into what you want to be in the world. And the more that you transform your public image, the more that you transform how you put yourself into the world, the more that you're going to get success. So this is all about transforming your public image, transforming your relationships for the better. Your relationships with your family are getting a lot better, is what I'm seeing. And also, this is about changing your public image in a way that's more in alignment with your higher self. So this is a really great time for you guys. I see wishes coming true, a comfy home situation, getting good sleep, feeling rested, and being able to rest after a period of hard work. But this also talks about, with the Mouse and the Bear, this really talks about really, you know, saving your money, really being responsible about your money. Saturn in the 11th wants you to be responsible with your money and how you spend your money and what you invest your money on, and to save your resources, because this is all about saving your resources, right? So try not to spend it all at once. Try to spend it on practical things. And that's all I have for you guys. I hope you have an amazing holiday. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.